But we are very happy to have Linda Lewis here today with Cash Overlooked. And she's a bit, I'm repeating myself because I didn't report, but business coach who can find any established business owner $50,000 to $100,000 in 45 minutes without spending a dime on marketing or advertising. And she is in Ohio, and today's program or presentation is entitled How to Get Awesome Testimonials That Increase Your Bottom Line. And like I said a little bit ago, cashoverlook.com is where you want to go. So I am going to give it, and I know we'll have some others jumping on, Linda, but thank you so much for coming in today, or tuning in. Where are you at, by the way?
Yeah, so I am in southeastern Ohio. Happy to be here with everybody today.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is great opportunity, and this is one of the strategies that I love to share with business owners because it doesn't cost money to implement it, and yet it increases everybody's bottom line. How do you get referrals? How do you get those testimonials? We don't have to spend all that money on Facebook and advertising, well, when we utilize strategies like what I'm going to show you today. So happy to be sharing this today.
Thank you very much. Take it away.
All right, so I'm going to share screen then. And this is the presentation that I think will pop up. There we go. This presentation is about how to get those testimonials that are going to increase your bottom line. And when you follow these step-by-step processes, you can very effectively, compete in your marketplace. But not only are you just starting to compete in your marketplace, but you can really transform your business and dominate your marketplace by using some of these specialized techniques that help you to reduce your expenses, increase your exposure, get your referrals, get your testimonials. So putting in place these processes and procedures can really make a big difference in your business. So it's one of my favorite strategies, and we're going to talk about testimonials and referrals today. So we'll cover both. And let's start by just talking about that referral system that leads to the testimonials. And then we'll be talking about how do you get the testimonials once you're getting that referral. There's two distinct types of referrals. There's the passive and the proactive systems. Mostly we're going to focus on the passive system today. And so we'll take an example out of the real estate playbook. And if you know anything about real estate, one of the things that you've undoubtedly seen is smart real estate agents who are providing a welcome kit to every prospect they sell a new home to. And this welcome kit typically includes a myriad of coupons. There's discounts, there's free offers, special services that are provided by the local merchants and the contractors, provided by people who are being very generous and they understand the power of referrals. Most of those new home buyers have developed a close relationship with that real estate agent. And so there's some trust built up there. And they provide, the real estate agent has provided terrific advice. And so their recommendations are appreciated. And they highlight some of the products and services that most new homeowners need and they want. And so those recommendations carry a lot of weight. So personal recommendations is part of the key and the magic in this whole process. They're the number one motivation for many people to try out a new restaurant or a doctor or a dentist or a gardener or just a whole myriad of other services. Personal referrals, they are just unbelievably powerful and important. more powerful than if somebody just picks up a local newspaper and they're searching online or they're perusing the yellow pages. So I ask you to think for yourself about, how many times have you gone to a specific business because somebody gave that business a good recommendation, right? Happens. I'm seeing heads nodding. Yeah. I mean, we've all done it. Even if that person is a total stranger, it still carries more weight than something out of the yellow pages or an online search. So there's just something about getting that live recommendation that gives it some legitimacy. And most people today just don't really want to take the chance that they won't get good service or enjoy good food in some unfamiliar restaurant. So recommendations from someone can take away that fear of making a bad choice. But there's something else that I want you to ponder. Can you think of any business that you've been to lately that ask you to give them the names of people that you know who might be interested in their product or service? And I'm talking about referrals here. Can you think of a time that you went to a business and they asked you for it? Most businesses are missing out on this opportunity. And so it's incredibly powerful. We just talked about it. And yet most businesses, I'm not seeing heads nodding when I say, can you think of a business that recently asked you for this? So it says a lot about how many businesses are missing out on this opportunity. 99% of the restaurants that you go to, you get to the checkout and what do? They take your money. That's it. They assume that if you had good service, that you're going to make the referral, but they're not really capturing that opportunity. So we really want to take a look at the power of this incredible marketing tool that many businesses are overlooking. We could ask the question about why don't more businesses realize the power of their customers' influence when it comes to generating just a massive number of referrals? And in most cases, it only requires them to ask the people who already trust them, ask the people who are already enjoying their products and services. It tremendously increases that referral. And so, why aren't they doing it? I don't know. It's often a matter of not having it worked into their system, or it's a fear of rejection. Those are the things that come up often, right? It's not part of the process, and there's the fear of rejection. So we're going to talk about both of those things as we go today. And so as we get into this, let's take a look at what does it take to develop that system, the one that's missing and causes businesses to not really get the benefit of this. What's missing? Part of it is not having that incentive program that's in place. And so when we look at, well, what does it take to get this in place? Well, you need an incentive program to the customer that's providing that referral. And think about how a compelling incentive can really motivate a customer to give as many referrals as they can. And so what would be a good reason for a business not to employ it? There's not really a good reason. It's not part of the system, and it's part of that fear factor. So if we offer an incentive program that becomes a systemized program to the customer that is providing the referral, in most cases, there's no cost and there's really no risk. And they build up this loyalty factor. For a highly satisfied customer, this loyalty factor just goes off the charts because they're willing to give referrals to businesses that they just had a good experience with, and they become more loyal customers. So the referring customer that's now getting an incentive to give a referral, they feel a certain sense of responsibility for recommending the business, since they want other people to care about the, having that same good experience, that excellent experience that they were treated to when they received their services or their products. And so since they care about it and they want others to have that good experience, they're now more invested in that business doing well. And so it enhances the reputation of everybody, the person who's giving the referral, the person who's getting the referral. Everybody wins when those referrals are happening. With a really good referral system in place, what we tend to see is that referral system will increase the bottom line of a business by 5 to 20% or more. Now, think about what a difference that 5 to 20% could make in your bottom line. Making more money is always the goal of every business, and yet most people are leaving a lot of money on the table by not having these referral systems in place that actually excite their customers. Customers are excited to give businesses referrals. So we don't want to leave that money on the table. We don't want to overlook that. And a 5 to 20% increase in your bottom line revenue is pretty significant, and it's not costing you anything. So those are some of the reasons that I'm very excited about referral systems and testimonials that go along with it. So once you have this system set up, all it takes is some follow-up by you or your employees in creating this system that's very dynamic and produces that level of income for you. Your customers don't want to waste their time doing research to decide who they're going to buy from. If you think about it, when was the last time you spent hours trying to find a new car repair mechanic or a grocery store or a restaurant? People don't want to do that. Most people find it difficult just to make choices about, mundane things like shopping and restaurants, and they would prefer to give someone they know a recommendation to help with that, and they would prefer to receive those recommendations. So they're very well received. And that helps us, when we think about it that way, it helps us to get away from the idea of, well, we're going to be rejected if we ask for it, or it's too mundane of a thing. But one of the things that we do need to take into account is that people want instant gratification and direction on, what businesses to try, especially when that product or service doesn't play a major role in their life. So think about how to give that instant gratification. It is 500% to 1,000% more costly to use other advertising methods to generate customers than to get one referral. 500% to 1,000%. That is a huge difference in cost. So we can reduce our advertising methods and bring more customers to your door just by getting referrals out there. And most businesses are spending around 15% or more of their total revenue in their advertising budgets. Yet their referral customer base is twice that of the clients who come to them through paid advertising. So with hundreds of categories of referral programs available, we can put our attention on just 2 that are proven and tested and have successful track records and take very little time to implement and require little to no money. We're not putting money at risk, and we're really able to put things into action when we put together these referral systems. So let's talk about these two. We'll kind of boil it down to two types of referral systems. And one that we're going to talk about most of the time today is the passive referral system. So the passive referral system is where your customers are informed of your referral program, and they understand the perks that they will receive if they are sharing information about your business with family, friends, associates, other people that they meet who show some kind of interest in your service. Now this system involves a concerted effort and approach in which you ask your happy customers or your clients for referrals, and you reward them for their efforts. Now, in a passive system like this, you won't be directly moving that referral process forward. And you'll see different kinds of referral systems and different kinds of testimonial systems that are out there. Sometimes you'll see the Google reviews. Those are less active. Typically, that's just a request for, a 5-star endorsement of a service. And so it's more of a passive system. But we'll talk about the difference between the passive system and the different effectiveness of these kinds of systems. So 2 referral systems that are proven and tested: that passive system, and then the proactive referral system. So the second system that we'll cover next is that proactive referral system, where in this system you're directing the whole process, and that gives you the power to reach potential customers who have been influenced by their friends or their associates. These are prospects who, under normal circumstances, would never have heard of your business. And in this system, you're personally motivating your customers to become promoters of your business. You're enticing them to share information. And you're doing it in a very ethical way with a lot of integrity, so that everybody who knows what you do is getting some benefit by giving you some of these referrals. So here's how to take a basic referral program and turn it into just a supercharged, proactive referral system. And I'll give you a little bit of a story that I recently experienced. I recently had some dental work done and was very disappointed by the experience, and felt that the work that was done was just kind of shoddy work, and the customer service wasn't up to par, definitely kind of below my expectations. So I decided it was time to be looking for a new dentist. So I was outside one day picking up the newspaper. One of the neighbors happened to come by, and he was walking his dog, and he said, how are things going? And I shared my experience with my dentist. No sooner were the words out of my mouth when he began praising his dentist. And he began to explain to me how, caring and professional the guy was. And this recommendation was just a glowing recommendation. And so, it's very common because people love to share this kind of information. Think about a time that you shared some information, right? People love to share this kind of information with anybody who's going to listen. And so he told me that several of our other neighbors were also visiting the same dentist. So you can imagine, it wasn't long, I switched dentists, I began seeing him, and I've spent, a lot of money on checkups and things there since then. So consider this. The dentist Did he have an active referral system in place? No, that wasn't an active referral system. That was just a very casual mention, and yet it worked very effectively, right? So that we can see, even when they don't have, active referral systems in place, a business might be getting referrals, but this person, he didn't have a referral system in place at all. And I later discovered that he was spending a lot of money on Yellow Pages ads, local radio spots. It was costing him a lot of money. And yet I'm sure that if he did just a minimum amount of research, he would have discovered that many of his clients are referrals that are coming in from his client base. Now, his savings grace is that he has great personality, his expertise as a dentist is wonderful, his staff, they're very considerate, and they just treat everybody with a lot of kindness, and you feel like you're part of the family as soon as you walk in. So he gets a lot of passive referrals. If he had a different referral system in place, he would be able to really capitalize on a more active referral system. So, and in a lot of cases, people are just not aware of the scope of his business, so they don't make certain referrals because he hasn't educated his audience about it. They sometimes are not aware, in this particular dentist case, they're not aware of any benefits to making referrals to their circle of influence, so they don't really do it. But if he created some form of a formal referral system that actually rewarded people for making referrals, just think about how much he could grow his base. He could grow his business much more rapidly, spend much less money on marketing and advertising. And so the simple solution is to just put in place a system where he trains his staff in the art of asking for referrals from every single patient. His referral success would be very, very high because his patients love him. And so if your business is full of people who love you and you have not put in place some type of active referral system, think about this example, because there are lots of ways to put some advantages and perks in place that will then also give you more testimonials. So we're kind of combining referrals and testimonials here today, and we'll talk about how they come together. And you can really, here we go, capitalize on the power of referrals. So let me tell you about this referral gold mine that can just up the number of referrals from clients, just, from 200%, 300% increase. Think about what those numbers would mean for your business if we turned that passive referral system into something that's more powerful, into a proactive referral system. We can start to see that the advantages could include a number of things for the dentists, whitening, Invisalign braces, all sorts of restoration services. So he can offer these incentives to current patients and educate current patients about all the different things that he does. Now, with referral systems, there's kind of a two-tier process here. As you educate people about what you do and offer them an incentive for making a referral, maybe it's free services, maybe it's cash, maybe it's a dinner card. They get a little something for making the referral. Another way to get some of these referrals and the testimonials is for somebody on your staff, or you yourself to write up some of these testimonials. You have the person who you're already talking to, they're already in love with you, they love your business. Interviewing them can be a very compelling way to start getting that referral. So you can start to write up that testimonial for them and ask them to then review it and see if that it creates in their mind a way to start thinking of other people who are actually interested in what you're doing. So you might see that as you're kind of interviewing them, you're increasing the number of referrals that are coming in. You can easily come up with additional patients who can now start to get a letter from you that has these testimonials in it. So if you do it in a neighborhood and you get their permission as you interview them to use their testimonial in a letter, and then you can put that into a letter that you send out to, say, 50 people in that same neighborhood, and allow them to accept a complimentary checkup, a complimentary tooth whitening session on behalf of their neighbor who has given you permission to use their testimonial in the letter that you mail out to their neighborhood. The power of that produces a real gold mine, because now you're leveraging what they said. You're also leveraging locality. So if you have a local business, you want to take advantage of the fact that people listen to their neighbors, even if they don't know their neighbor. Now, it's crazy how it works, but they don't even have to know who their neighbor is. They can just receive a letter that endorses you, that endorses this dentist, and you're starting to tap into their circle of influence. And all you're doing to get the power of all of that is interviewing them when you're having a conversation with them. So in that interview, you start to ask them what it is that they have enjoyed the most. You're starting to get information from them, and you're also educating them a little bit more about some of the things that you do. So this is so much more powerful than thinking about using Facebook ads. You can do this on a very low cost budget. So if you mailed this out to the people in the neighborhood, you might spend $50 or so. Incredibly inexpensive as compared to some other types of marketing that might take place. Okay, so then let's talk about in a little bit more depth how to get some of these referrals and how to get that information out of people as you're interviewing them. If you don't structure this, then that information tends to just kind of dribble in. It's a little hit and miss, and it doesn't really highlight your business in the way that you want your business to be highlighted. So as you're talking with them, and you're talking to your satisfied customers, you want to tell them about your business and ask them some more questions so that you're really bringing out what the problem was that they were experiencing when they started coming in to see you. And you're starting to focus in on the results that they got. You're starting to focus in on how happy they are, how short the sessions were, what some of their fears were. So you're bringing out the emotion that's in there, and you're starting to hear the relief that they get. Now, this model of interviewing patients or customers or clients is only successful if you continue to do it over time and you don't miss the opportunity to ask for those referrals. The negative side of this referral program is that prospects can feel like it's a little bit impersonal. They can feel a little bit put off by it. So you want to be careful about approaching people. You can really benefit from this, but you also don't want it to become uncomfortable for your customers to give you those referrals. So you can ask them specifically for the names of 3 or 4 prospects who might also enjoy the same benefits that they've received. Now, that's where some people begin to feel uncomfortable asking a customer for 3 or 4 names. Some people are willing to do that, some are not. One of the keys that turns that around is being able to focus on the benefit so it doesn't feel as impersonal. But the perfect scenario is for you to be able to call the people that they name after your satisfied client has really paved the way for you. So you can call them and invite them for a complimentary treatment or a free service. So it's not like cold calling people. You're inviting them because your customer has already paved the way for you. And so when you follow up and you make that phone call, that person is now primed to hear from you, and they're interested in receiving that free gift from you. So you tell your customer about the free gift that their referral is going to receive, and tell your customer about the incentive that they're going to receive for making the referral. And now everybody's happy, and it doesn't feel like a cold call, and it doesn't feel awkward about them giving you names and phone numbers of 3 or 4 other people who they know who might want to receive the same service that they received. So it's important to kind of put this in context because it can feel awkward if we think about it in the wrong way. But when we think about they're going to be able to give their friends or family members a gift because you've created this referral system, well, then they're much more willing to do it, right? They get the benefits of giving their friend this free gift, this free service. One of the keys to it is to make sure that you call that prospect immediately and you invite them to come in and get that free gift. The follow-up is critical on this. If you are slow in making that call, then this referral system falls apart very quickly. So you've got to make sure that you're going to be able to make that call, or somebody on your staff is going to be able to make that call pretty quickly. One of the beauties of this is that you have essentially pre-screened and qualified customers to contact. Now, how many people would like to have pre-screened and qualified customers to contact? I know I love that. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what your customer base is doing for you. They are pre-screening and qualifying those customers for you. Very, very powerful system to put in place. So passive referral systems. We want to make sure that we are consistently asking for referrals from satisfied customers and letting the customers know what the rewards are for making a referral. So if you're offering them money or a gift card, make sure that they know what that benefit is. The third thing is to make sure that your reward system is in place and make it as generous as you can. If you know the lifetime value of a customer, then that helps you to determine what you can generously offer. So can you offer a $50 thing? Can you offer a $25 gift? Can it be a $300 gift? What can it be? The value of that free gift, that free service, depends a lot on what your the lifetime value of a customer is for you. The fourth thing that we want to pay attention to is to create a compelling referral incentive that really excites them. They're excited to do this with you. and then to follow up immediately when that referral is given. Okay, so the process for creating that consistent flow of high quality referrals is to use some uniform methods for gleaning those referrals, and remembering the key to those referrals is proper timing. You don't want to ask too soon. You don't want to ask too late. And it depends on your specific service or your business. Compelling your clients to actively provide you with these unlimited quality referrals is the way to build a very successful referral system. It keeps your expenses down tremendously, because you're not having to spend as much time or money marketing. So I've alluded to this a little bit. I want to talk about these 5 different levers of the referral system. And the first one is that you want to be asking your clients some leading questions. So leading questions are questions that are going to relate the benefits that you provide in the form of a story. So a leading question for a chiropractor might have to do with asking, do you know someone who has lower back pain? And then roll that into a story, some form of story. So another example before I give you a story would be a restaurant owner who might ask a patron, do you know somebody else who loves Italian food? You're just starting to get them to think more about the benefit of the service that you provide, right? The Italian restaurant, they want more people who enjoy Italian food. The chiropractor, they want more people who have some back pain and are looking for relief. So you want to engage your client in a discussion. You want to remind them of the benefits that you provide, and then share some specific story or example of how you've helped other people with that similar situation. So the chiropractor might share an example of a time when they helped somebody who had a similar type of back pain. Maybe they had sciatica. You don't want to go into the specifics. Like the chiropractor would not want to remind them that their treatment method was the use of some spinal decompression machine. Like, that's not exciting. That's not fun. That's the technical side of it. We're not looking for the technical side. We're looking for the story about the benefits, the relief of the pain. So talking about that story and having stories in your arsenal that you can easily relate to other people will make a very big difference in their ability to remember those stories. And as you provide them with stories, then they'll start to repeat those stories to other people, as well as think of other people who also have that, that back pain or love that Italian food. Okay, another lever for us to talk about here is the brain tickler form. And what this is for you is that you want to be looking for a particular target list of people and have that listed on a referral sheet. And you can even give this to clients and customers, or you can interview clients and customers. You can give it to them in writing and ask them to fill in those spaces with names and phone numbers, addresses. If you're looking for bookkeepers to add to the list, you can tell your customer base that's who you're looking for and see if they know anybody who meets that criteria. The more specific you are with this, the more likely they are to think of a specific person that meets that criteria. Specificity makes a big difference. So having that referral, that brain tickler form, it helps you stay focused and it helps your clients know who you're looking for. Now, number 3 is just think of the old school Rolodex. A lot of us essentially have that Rolodex on our phones these days. This is a more direct approach when you're asking people for phone numbers, names, addresses that meet a certain demographic profile that you give them. Most people can look it up on their phone book, and just think of that, or phone book, cell phone. You know, think of that cell phone as sort of that portable Rolodex that we all have. And just give them that demographic profile, and they can start scrolling and see if they'll come up with somebody for you. Another one is to get to know who your clients know. Very powerful, because you can customize who you're asking your clients for information for. If you know that somebody knows a certain targeted industry, then you can start thinking about, well, how do these two things intersect? Your client might know somebody in town that you just don't have access to. And maybe your client hasn't been in this town for very long, but they know people in another town that you would like to meet. Well, if you know that they know people in the nearby town, then you can start to leverage that and target that a little bit more carefully if you know who they know. Now the 5th one, and the slide seems to be missing. Yeah, all right. So number 5 is the self-mailer. Having a mailer that goes out on a periodic basis to your customers. It could be a postcard, it could be a letter in an envelope, but mail it out and ask them for those referrals. As you're doing this, you're reminding them about some of the things that they loved about your business, and you're getting more information from them, and they're turning into a more loyal customer for you. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the reasons that people don't ask for referrals is that fear of rejection. And so if you're a business owner, we've got to find a way to dismiss that fear of rejection and instead focus on the fact that your clients, if they didn't love you, they wouldn't be your client. They love you now. They are willing to talk about you, and part of your job is to educate them about how to make referrals to you and how to give you testimonials. So there's several different times that you can ask for these testimonials. So one is when they buy something. That's a time when they are the most excited about your product or service. Think about it for yourself. If you buy something, that's when you're excited. If you buy that new microwave and it blows up later on, you're not so excited about it. You're excited when you make the purchase, or right after you receive the benefit. So that's when you want to be asking for that referral. Another time to ask for a referral is when you've had a client who has used your service several times. And for some businesses and industries, you want to wait until they've used your service several times. You don't want to ask the first time. Timing is everything on this, because customers can become uncomfortable. So if you're too aggressive about it, they can feel very pressured. So think about your business model. Do you want to ask the first time, or do you want to wait until they've used it several times? Another time that you can ask is within a few days of seeing them. Maybe you don't want to ask right at that point of sale. Maybe for your industry, that's not the right time. And so instead, you can send them that letter or that postcard a couple days after you've had that transaction. You can also delay in asking until you receive praise or a thank you from your client. When they're talking about how much they have benefited or enjoyed your service, that's another time that it's very appropriate and convenient to ask them for a referral. You can slip that into the conversation. And then the fifth one is that periodic mailer that I mentioned just a little bit ago, but wanted to highlight again, is to have maybe every 3 months or every 6 months, a mailer that you send out to your current customer base and ask them for referrals. All right, I am going to wrap up for now and open it up for questions. There's a lot of information about how to create the referral system to get the testimonials. And so I hope this has given you lots of ideas about how to create that referral system and when to ask for those testimonials. Any questions or thoughts? I'm curious about what you may have already tried or what you're interested in trying.
Larissa? Larissa has a question. Go ahead.
Well, more of a comment. I was always afraid of asking for referral, but you're going to be pleasantly surprised because when you do, like if you don't ask, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So once I got into the habit of asking all my clients for referrals, I get pretty much 100%. They're usually quite happy to provide a referral, which is lovely.
Yes, that is fantastic. Yeah, and you know, it just rolls back to that idea that they already are your clients. They already love you. And so we have to get over our own fears. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that, Louisa. That's great.
And maybe if you find out that there's negative, it would be an opportunity in that moment to handle that and overcome that, maybe.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be the first one who says, I don't want to know. Although I do want to know. I do want to know, even though I might not want to know. But, you know,
I actually got not negative, but feedback, which helped me tweak my business. It did. You have to take that. And it was a soft negative. It was a wonderful negative, if I can even say that. But it was feedback, constructive feedback. And I took it to, I didn't get upset. I thought this is going to help me make it better. Because if this person feels this way, there must be others that aren't voicing it.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. And sometimes that feedback is very constructive, and it might feel like a stab in the heart at first, but then when we look at it and we say, you know, that would be so easy for me to fix, and it's just a matter of knowing about it. Yeah.
Good point.
Awesome.
Great. Anybody else
I
got?
have a question, Linda.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one on here that sells personal care stuff. And I find that that's a little bit more difficult. Even me as a consumer, I'm in skincare. Let's say I wasn't, but I buy skincare. I don't necessarily know my friends who are having skincare needs. It's not something that comes up as often as, well, shoot, there was a storm and my insurance company didn't cover the roof, or, you know, it's not one of those. Have you worked with clients in more personalized care, and does anything change in your system because it's a little more of a sensitive subject?
You know, I think the more sensitive areas, we have to be a little more cautious about when we ask for the testimonials. And one of the things that you can change a little bit is to use stories about the results that other people have received, and not attach, in some cases, not attach somebody's name directly to their personal story. but to say a customer who had, this condition got this benefit.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it can be tricky if the condition is never talked about because it's not proper, or, it doesn't come up in casual conversation. And yet I still sometimes do hear, even for those very personal situations, say somebody has breast cancer. I mean, we don't normally walk around talking about breast cancer, and unless you have breast cancer, and then you are walking around talking about a very personal thing, and other people do tend to start to have these very private conversations, and they're quiet conversations, but we tend to know people who have similar conditions. So yeah, I think sometimes using the story form can be very helpful because it makes it feel a little more comfortable. And then they can copy your stories, so they don't even have to tell their own story.
Awesome. Good answer. Good answer. You know what you're doing. I would just say we always try to kind of wrap up around an hour. Linda's got so many things that she can help us with, so I'm sure we will have her back to do some others. I would just say, if you didn't get, it is Linda at Cash Overlooked, but you can find her on our website, I hope. I think her stuff is there. Also, she does have a wonderful offer that she's extended to all of our network. And she really didn't talk too much about her business today at all. But Linda, do you mind sharing that with everybody and go there? But
Okay, yeah. So one of the things that I do, this is one of the strategies that I help people with. And the strategies that I help small business owners discover for growing their business is a structured interview that I do to help you find $50,000 to $100,000 in 45 minutes. And there are many strategies similar to this one. And this actually is part one of a 5-part presentation on referrals and testimonials. I was struggling to keep it to 45 minutes.
Yeah. You did good. You did good. You did well.
But the offer is, get in touch with me and I will help you in, all of the TTR members are getting it's a $997 value for a full business assessment to discover what is the path to profit in your business. And I'll help you figure out what is it that you should be working on, which strategy makes the most sense. And I'm not talking about having you do a bunch of Google advertising. That may be part of it, but there are many other ways to do it as well. And so I'll do that assessment. We'll meet. You can book an appointment with me. If you're a TTR member, I'll do that assessment at no charge. So I encourage you to book that session, get in touch with me so that you know what strategies to be using and what path, so that you're not overwhelmed. One of the issues for most small business owners is I have so many things to do. I can't ever feel like I can go to sleep and feel like everything's done. Like I never feel caught up. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed, all that. If that is you, then let's get together, do a session. It's called a Profit Acceleration Roadmap. I'll give you a report and it will tell you which strategies will produce how much money and in what order you should do them in. So if you do things out of order, you don't get nearly the impact and you tend to focus on the wrong things at the wrong time. So there is an order. It's just like building a house. If you're building a home, you don't go pick out the light fixtures first. Like build that foundation. Mm-hmm. And then we'll start putting the walls in place and we'll go from there. So I'm happy to help people create that roadmap. And then once you see it, if you want help implementing it, I can help you implement it. If you can do pieces of it on your own, do it on your own. There's a lot of different ways that we can go with the implementation. Some of it can be a DIY program. Some of it can be in some of the group programs that I run. Some of it can be one-on-one coaching, lots of different ways to do it, but you got to have that roadmap. Most small business owners that I work with are very good at the thing that they do, whether it's, the plumber who knows how to do the plumbing, or the chiropractor who is an excellent doctor, but they didn't get any training on how to run a business. And so having a plan and a method for how to run that business and how to grow it will make all the difference in the world.
Louisa, do you have your hand up again?
No, I was clapping.
Okay. Kind of stupid. I'm kind of stupid.
The remnant of when I had my hand up, I forgot to
No,
lower it.
I just don't know how to, I just didn't want to miss it. My whole thing would be, just as a testimonial, is that I met with Linda a couple weeks ago, and in a few short times we've done, in my opinion, a lot. And I know that a lot of people are starting to, we all have testimonials. I'm not putting quotations because it's pretty cool. And I would just say, if you're a member, we'd love to have you check with Linda on that. And if you're not a member, we'd love to have you as a member, because that's a really cool way to find out about a lot of things that, and our members, please remember, if you've got something you want to offer to the membership, that's pretty cool too. So anyway, I guess that I would leave that. Nicole, you've been in on a couple of our sessions, and I know you've been working with Jim Matthews also. So
Yes. Yeah.
She's doing all
It's-
kinds of great stuff.
Well, yeah, a quick one, if that's okay. I know we're after 5, but I am honored to be in, we call him Professor Jim, with his Prodigy STEM Club, that I'm on the board, and it's a platform of STEM reaching to children at home and their parents. And so we've been collaborating as board directors, and all these ideas, like Linda says, and we have ideas and all these great things. And I mean, just after he had his 1 hour, 45-minute conversation with Linda, he's like, oh my gosh, this is my, what is it? Market
Go ahead, Linda.
Market dominating position.
Thank you. Which is amazing. And he's just like told us, and he's like on it. And he's just like, we've gone from, by the end of the year, we'd like this, to we're getting this done this month. We're going to go on level 2 next month, and I've got goosebumps. We're all on board. And thank you, Linda. And I've seen amazing progress too with Jennifer on her website that she's doing. So.
Well, I'm excited because I'm starting to feel a little more like, oh, we've been doing this 10 years, but that doesn't mean we had it all figured out. It's kind of fallen into place. So with Linda's help, I feel much more directed. I am going to thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Linda. We really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll recruit you for more as we go forward for other things, because I know you've got all kinds of wisdom. I am going to send this out. I'm not going to promise I'll get it to you tonight, because I've got like a pile of a zillion other things, but I am going to send the link out to everybody that registered. And if you have any specifics, I know Linda put her email in the chat, but it is as simple as Cash Overlooked, and maybe that's not as simple as it sounds. CashOverlooked.com. Yep. And I'm sure she has answers to a lot of questions that we didn't even begin to even start today. So thank you, Linda. Okay, we just actually did a what is it? We just did our video cast with Linda too. That'll come out this week, and she talks about some pretty cool things. And I would just say, remember to ask her about dragon boating, right?
Right.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that. And if you're a leader of a group and you'd like to have Linda talk to your group, I think you might really enjoy that. because she's got a lot of great stuff. So we have a few leaders on this call too, and we have leaders from other organizations. So everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. It was great. Exactly what, we just want to know as much as we can find out, and you gave us a lot to go with. So thank you very much. And everybody have a great evening. Just remember dragon voting. I'm excited about it. Thank you. It's great. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks for attending. Bye. Bye, guys.